come to Oklahoma City, there's only one guy you kind of think of when you come to Oklahoma City. So, ran into a buddy of mine earlier. Make some noise for the big, broad, tatty, Toby Keith right here, everybody.
If I ain't at my bar, I'm down at Hollywood Corners, or I'm on stage with Jason Hager. But the Almighty's been riding shotgun, and my ass is getting ready to go back to work. Let's see if we all know one.
Hey, well, you know, a big star like you need a lot of lenses. I just got a question, Toby. So my experience with you sitting around is like you're a friggin' jukebox. I've never heard a guy know so many songs. Where's that come from? I mean, you got a good memory, or are you just a musicologist?
Both. I think just loving music so much as a kid, listening to everything. My first group of music albums that I had, when I look back on them and started seeing what all I'd collected, was mostly songwriters. So I would listen to any kind of music as long as the person that was singing it had written their own stuff. That's what I wanted to be, was a songwriter. And so the song was always that important to me. And I guess it's just with a you know, God blessed me with a good memory, and I just retained all of it.
Even we drink, Toby. We drink, and my memory's shrinking, but that's another story. So is my body. When you were in high school, what was your go-to music?
Haggard. Anything from Haggard to Bob Seger.
Really? And in high school, you were listening to country?
I listened to Al Green.
Oh, wow.
I listened to, I mean, obviously all the country stuff, but it was Willie Waylon Hagg, Charlie Daniels, the people who wrote their stuff. And then I loved like the Bob Seger stuff. I like John Prine. I like Al Green. As far as the R&B stuff, you don't have to write their own stuff R&B. I'll listen to anybody's R&B stuff.
So what made you decide to go country? I mean, most young kids want to be rock stars. But I mean, nowadays country are rock stars, but when you were doing it, it wasn't as fashionable as it is today, right?
Right. Just that was the most comfortable, where I wrote, where my wheelhouse was writing.
Yeah.
That's where I fit. And when I sing, that's what I sound like. I mean, you and me can get up and jam anything we want to do, and we make it sound like that, but it was like the stuff I wrote was more like American country, and that's where it fit.
What do you think is the best song you ever wrote in your heart?
The most important song I wrote should have been a Cowboy, just because it separated me from the nobodies to a somebody. I broke through the critical mass and had a #1 hit first out of the box. Well, then that allowed me some time for other people to research and find my music. Whereas there's so many talented guys and girls and acts that come in and they got an album and it never gets heard, and they don't get a second chance, or they do get a second chance, it don't work. You got to bust through and have one that puts you on the board.
Yeah.
And that song was the most important one. I don't know, the best song that I think I ever wrote could be
See?
Yeah, it's hard.
It is hard.
It is.
Every time somebody asks me, I got to name 4 or 5, and then I say, well, or maybe, and then pretty soon you just say, just forget it, never mind. You know, but
Hope on the Rock should be up there.
So within driving distance of your little mini city that you have here, what else you got around here?
I got one of the coolest old roadhouse venues in America.
What's it called?
Hollywood Corner.
Why would you call it Hollywood?
I did, and they named it that 100 years ago.
Oh, so you just didn't want to...
How weird is it that they named it that 100 years ago? 100 years. Was Hollywood even open? Were they even doing movies 100 years ago?
I don't think so, but there you go. Let's go see it.
Okay, bro. Yeah.
We're going to drive. You got a little car collection.
Yeah, we'll get some.
How you
We'll
all
get it
doing,
over
guys?
here.
I welcome you back on here. If you're new, consider subscribing, liking, and also share this video. Now, the country music star that is Toby Keith, who actually passed away at the beginning of this month at the age of 62 after a long battle with health-related issues. In one of the interviews, he actually held with an Oklahoma news outlet weeks before he passed on. He talked about his faith, and he actually revealed that he was a man of faith, and through the whole illness he was actually attached to the one and only God. Toby Keith, actually, we all know he passed on the night of February 5th, surrounded by his family, as they asserted in a statement they released on his social media at the time, saying that he's a man who actually passed on through a fight which was really graceful and, of course, courageous. But in this interview, like you've heard it, he actually tapped on the issue of him having faith. And in his words, like you've heard him saying that, he said you have to be faithful. You know, he thanked God, and he said he had to do it because he had been very good to him throughout the years, over the years, and he couldn't live without being faithful, and actually without living with his God. Actually, in a response whether he experienced a peace that passes all, he said yes, he agreed on that idea, and he said when he was diagnosed, actually it even made him more it even made him more closer to his God, and actually that's what helped him to transpire through that whole battle. It teaches us a lesson that you have to always believe in God. You know, God is ever with us, and with, having good times or bad times, you have to attach yourself to your Savior, because He's able and He actually can do whatever miracle we can actually expect. So he's a man who was really a very strong and huge Christian, and to be such a huge star and of course remain that faithful is really very, very rare in this moment in time and in this day and age. We've seen so many stars, we've seen so many artists, we've seen so many Hollywood stars, movie stars, mega rich guys, having all the wealth on this world, but they are not related to God, or they are not actually even considering anything related to God. But Toby Keith, actually, with all the riches he had, with all the wealth, with all the popularity he had, he was really very close to God up to when he passed on. We send our deepest condolences and prayers to his family, friends, the fans, and everyone who was really close to him. Rest in power, the King.